Welcome to the Success Talk Show, the podcast for ambitious leaders who want to get their best results and create a workplace for their teams to thrive. Each week we share practical advice to help you accelerate your success and grow as an inspiring leader. Now here's your host, Leadership Success Coach, Donna Siriani.
Welcome to another episode of the Success Talk Show. This is Donna Siriani, Leadership Success Coach and founder of Success Compass Academy. Now, if you're listening to this episode, I'm assuming that it caught your attention where to direct your energy for the career you want. I'm going to share with you 5 key areas that if you have even 1 hour a week to invest in spending time on your career, these are the 5 areas I'd want you to give really serious thought to. Now, just to give you some context for my background, I'd like to introduce myself. I have spent my entire career in technology. I started off as a programmer right out of college, worked my way up to senior leadership roles in technology organizations, managing teams across the US, Europe, and Asia. Now, my last corporate role was as Chief People Officer for a software company. And as much as I loved championing a fantastic company culture and winning a Best Place to Work award there, I was drawn to leave those corporate roles behind because I wanted to become a full-time coach and consultant. And now in that role, I help leaders in technology accelerate growth, both for themselves personally and for their organizations, while creating a workplace for their teams to thrive. Now, the 5 areas that I'm going to share with you are the same 5 areas that I use that I've been focusing on for quite a long time. I use a lot of tools and techniques with my coaching clients, so I know that what I'm going to share with you is tried and true. It actually does help people get focused, accelerate their progress, and feel a whole lot more satisfied with what they're doing. So let's dive in. I'm assuming that you're listening because you do want to put some attention into it. You do want to direct your energy where it's going to pay off. So the first thing I want you to think about, the first question I want you to answer is, are you willing to put in 1 hour a week? Are you willing to commit to 1 hour a week to put that attention into managing your career? If the answer is yes, terrific. I've got some ideas for how you can spend that time. Now, one analogy I love to use is that if you're a homeowner, you maybe have an apartment, a condo, but if you have a single family home, probably it's on your mind all the time what to do to improve the value of your home. Maybe it's a new roof, it's painting the exterior, it's doing some landscaping, but you're always thinking about where could you invest your time, energy, and money to improve the value of your house. And you probably even have in your budget, maybe it's 5% of your budget or 2% of your budget every year goes to something you're going to do to improve your house. Well, actually, I think of you as your best investment. So whether it's your time, your energy, or your money, think about what you can commit to. It could be you're going to invest some resources, some money into training, coaching, personal development, books, whatever it is that you may need. But it's more than the money, it's the time. So again, are you willing to commit at least 1 hour a week? Really, you can make a lot of progress. So that's step 1. Now, I say step 1, that's really sort of a prerequisite, is giving yourself permission to allocate some time and money, resources, your energy into managing your career. Now, the first area I actually want to go through with you is your vision. The very first step I'd love you to take is brainstorm what your vision is for how you would like to be living your life 10 years from now. What you'll be doing, what's important to you, and why it's important to you. What is your purpose, your vision? Now, in my course, of course, I go through a lot more detail on what that vision is, but for today, you simply could pull out a piece of paper, your journal, a notebook, maybe use your laptop and brainstorm 10 years from now. Now, I know when I first did this exercise, I still have to laugh because it was about 20 years ago or longer. And I was visualizing myself living at a ski resort, and I would be doing something with my career, maybe as a consultant, where I could work from anywhere. My ideal vision was that I could be at a ski area, snowboarding every day, but still doing on my whatever my consulting work was on alternate days, maybe part-time, maybe 6 months of the year I'd work, then take 6 months off to be on the slopes, or maybe it was some number of days a week that I really didn't have all the details, but I was sketching out my vision. Somehow I was going to incorporate what I was doing for my profession with my personal passions. And I really had this, what you would call kind of crazy idea for what my life could look like. Well, here's the funny thing. I'm actually living that crazy vision as we speak. As I record this episode, I'm actually living at a ski area right now. I am doing coaching and consulting virtually. I have fabulous clients, absolutely love the work that I do every day. But oh, by the way, I can go off to the slopes as many hours every day as I want, as long as I take care of my clients, right? So it's not so crazy. So what I want you to focus on as you're writing your vision, think of it as brainstorming, being creative, be aspirational, and don't focus on how you're going to make this work, how you're going to make it happen. I certainly didn't know 20 years ago how I was going to make my vision become a reality. But what was important was that I had a vision. Every year I was adding more clarity to what it could look like. Okay, so you don't have to figure out how you're going to make it happen. Just have fun with what you're going to be doing and why. Okay, and it's got to be in writing. Just thinking about it and daydreaming about it over a beer, a cup of coffee, or hot chocolate, that's not enough. Don't just daydream it. Put it down in writing. That is the first area of the 5 that I want you to put some effort into. Now, this can be a wonderful combination of both your personal and your professional life. For example, my private coaching clients, when we talk about their vision, where they're heading, their long-term view of their life, the professional side may include they want to become a public speaker. They want to be known as somebody who is really a genius at business development and creating new markets. Maybe they want to be working at a strategic level at their company, really developing strategy for new products or for their company. They want to have their voice heard at the table with that senior level to really influence the direction of the products that they're selling, right? So you really do want to incorporate both your personal and your professional ambition. Okay. And the sky's the limit, be aspirational. But it starts from there, because what I have experienced with my clients is that usually the vision is tucked inside somewhere. It's a few little seeds, and you're just sort of letting them sprout, letting them grow, letting them out into the light of day. Very rarely, in fact, I can't think of an instance where I ever coached somebody who had absolutely no idea. Usually it's inside there somewhere, and you're coaxing it out, giving yourself permission to just put it in writing. Nobody's going to read this, so you can be as crazy as you want to be. No one's going to read your vision unless you give it to them, okay? Give you full permission to think big, okay? Now, the reason why the vision is so important is because as you navigate career choices for the next year, 5 years, 10 years, and so on, that vision can become sort of a guiding light that tells you, which decision could you make in this moment, this week, this month, this year, that will take you a few baby steps closer to that vision. Now, for me, when I got certified for coaching, I started coaching people, I started working on my own. Then I started having more independence, doing more virtual work, because none of this happened overnight. It happened over a very long period of time. Then I started recognizing I have mobility. I can be anywhere I want. And so it happens over time. All your decisions aren't made in a single session sitting down with this vision, but over time, and we're going to get to that, that's one of the areas. Over time, you can see what baby steps you can take. In my case, one baby step was I researched, how do I become a coach? What are the training programs out there? How much time will it take for me to enroll in the program, to become a coach? How do I start a business as a coach? How do I get clients? If I want to do consulting, how do I find clients? So every little step in the process, right, is a baby step. You know that expression, 1,000-mile journey begins with a single step. Think of it as just one little step that you're going to take toward the vision. But without the vision, you can really just stand still confused, dazed, paralyzed, immobile, stuck, right? So that vision, you want to write it and brainstorm your ideas in a way that anytime you look at it, it inspires you, gets you excited, it's energizing. So if you happen to be one of those people that loves to write, let loose and have fun with it. Okay, so you're going to use that vision as a key, as a catalyst for everything else we're going to talk about. So that's number one. Number two is think about, and you can include this in your vision if you want, but think about what you most want to be known for. What do you most want to be known for over the next year, 5 years, 10 years? If I'm talking to people that know you, what would you want them to say about you? Now, when I ask my coaching clients this question, some of the common themes are someone will say, I really want to be known as somebody who can drive change across the organization. And the reason why that gets them excited is because they love to be a part of that transformation, getting the organization from an old way of doing things to the new way, maybe using new technology, new processes, new approaches, new strategies, but driving change. I have a lot of clients that thrive on that, which makes sense, right? In technology, that's part of what we do is we are a catalyst for change, how business is conducted, how people interact, how we run the business. Another example is a lot of the leaders that I coach, they're looking to be known as somebody who can build a high-performance team. They love and get energized by helping unleash the team to create outstanding results, to have a really big impact in the organization. They love working together, they're using their strengths, they're energized, and they produce phenomenal results. I have other clients who absolutely love solving complex problems. They love it when somebody comes to them with a complex problem. And this could be in all areas of the business. It could be a technical problem with a client, maybe a sales challenge, okay? Solving complex problems. So think about, for you, what do you want to be most known for? Let's take driving change. Maybe that's something you want to be known for. So that is now something you want to ask yourself. Are you acting in alignment with that desire? How do people see you today? If you want to be known as somebody who drives change, for every conversation that you show up for, every meeting, every project you're working on, whatever it is you're responsible for, are you showing that not only you embrace change, but you're good at managing it, promoting it, guiding other people through the change, right? Leading people through change. Is that what you're truly good at? And it's good for you to have that clarity, because in terms of where to direct your energy for the career you want, if that's what you want to be known for, you can now put more energy into that. Do you need actually more training so that you can become even better at driving change? Maybe you're already good at it, but it would be helpful for you to learn some new strategies, tools, techniques, processes, or approaches so that you can drive change even more effectively. So in other words, you're going to double down. You're already good at it, but maybe you can do more to strengthen your muscles so that people really see you as the expert, the champion, the catalyst. Okay. Now, what you most want to be known for is important because it does help you direct your energy, where to put your focus and attention. And chances are what people appreciate about you is something you're already good at, right? Now, when I work with my private clients and my group coaching clients, we will typically do a 360 feedback specifically on what others most appreciate about them. So they've got some data. Do some reality testing. I might think that what you most appreciate about me is that I've lived in several countries, I've traveled, I think I have a global mindset, but that might not be anything about what you appreciate. Maybe it's that some feedback I got when I did my 360 is that I bring out the best in people, that I'm inspiring and motivating. I can really get people enthusiastic and get them to take action. So what you most want to be known for, it does help. It's important that it be grounded in reality, right? If I want to be known as a thought leader in systems architecture, well, that's not realistic because that's not my skill set, right? So you do want to have a reality check on that. And I would say pretty much most of my coaching clients When I work with people one-on-one, I get to know them. I get to see through the assessments and our conversations. We get to talk about that and determine, is there alignment between what they really are good at and how people see them and what their goals are? Typically there is, but before we connect the dots, it may be confusing. There's just lack of clarity, lack of confidence, right? So by us connecting those dots together, it can really energize, motivate, help you accelerate progress, because then I help you see how the pieces fit together so that you can move forward. Now, another way that you might know this, when I say what you most want to be known for, another way to say it is, it's your personal brand. What's your brand? Your brand is made up of what you're good at, your personality, your background, what you bring to the table, right? But what you're most known for is sort of that nice catch-all umbrella. Now, people know me when I get clients come to me, whether it's through referral, they hear me speak, they want to work with me. There's something about me that's led them to me, right? Oftentimes, people who are in technology really appreciate the fact that I've walked in their shoes. I've had a lot of roles in technology, and I can relate to them, whether it's the examples I use, the language that I use, the framework, the concept, the approach. And so I know that there are people who come to me to work with me specifically because of who I am, my experience, and what I bring to the table and how it's different from others. Okay. So anyway, never underestimate the power and impact of what you bring to the table, what's unique about you, and what people most appreciate. That's a huge reason. I can talk a whole lot more about that in personal branding conversation, but that's a lot of where I help people gain clarity in defining your brand. But again, that's the second area of the 5 that you really need to give some thought to. Why it's important is if you want people to come to you to drive change and you're hoping to attract more of it, well, then that's where you need to direct your energy. If I secretly want to do it, but nobody knows it, I'm like the best kept secret, then I am not attracting more of that unless I walk the talk, I let people know I'm interested in it, I'm good at it, that's what I want to do more of, then they may not realize that I'm looking to attract more change initiatives and so on. It's just a quick example. Now, the third area goes hand in hand with your personal brand. The third area, again, if you have 1 hour a week, I'd want you to look at your vision. I'd want you to really give some thought and do some work on what you want to be known for. But the third thing is, I'd really want you to do some self-reflection and notice what you're good at and enjoy working on. Now, this happens to also be an emotional intelligence skill, that self-awareness, that you not only work and leverage your strengths, but you're aware of your weaknesses and you've got strategies to deal with them. This isn't about putting a weakness under a microscope. You would not want to direct your energy toward those weaknesses and put all your energy into fixing them, because that's not where you're going to have your greatest impact. If you're really good at building high performance teams, for example, you can relate to each individual. You know how to divide up the work and the assignments so that each person's playing to their strengths. You know that the team as a whole is well-rounded. They're clear on their objectives. They're really highly engaged. If you're really good at doing that, fantastic. You want to do more of that, right? The organization needs you to come to the table contributing the best you have to offer. Now, the analogy I always love to use, and you may have heard me say this before, but think about a baseball team. The pitcher trains to be a pitcher, and the team will win the game when that pitcher is, you're the pitcher and you're in your element. You're giving it your all. You're giving it your best. The team overall will perform better and hopefully win the game. You don't want to show up for the game and say, I think tonight I'm going to play outfield. Well, that's not what you've trained for. That's not your best position. That's not where your strengths are. Maybe you're okay. Maybe you could do it. But the team gets its best results when you're playing to the position that you're best suited for, where you get your best results. So kind of think of that analogy when you're thinking about showing up in the office, working with your team, working within your organization. Are you playing to your strengths? Now, if you haven't given that a lot of thought, I have some other episodes. I won't list them all, but look through the podcast. And I actually work with people on this, both one-on-one and in group. And I'll tell you at the end of the podcast how to find out more. But I work with people on this all the time to really help them gain clarity on where they get their best results and how they can hone in on that to achieve their goals and really achieve the career that they want. But that's crucial. So that's area number 3. If you haven't put a lot of time into that, even an hour here and there, you can really gain the clarity, see where to direct your energy, and it's going to absolutely propel you for that career that you are either establishing, navigating, maybe thinking longer term, okay? Can actually help you even tomorrow, even next week, okay? Now, the 4th area I want to mention is setting goals. When you think about your career, now that we've got the first 3 areas, if you have an hour a week, I really want you to have at least 1 to 3 goals. Don't go crazy, just 1 to 3 goals. And these can be small goals, but think of it as every quarter, or you could do this every month, but say every quarter, have 3 small goals that are achievable. They're specific, they're relevant, but 3 small goals for your career that each quarter you could set them. Now you might do monthly, and we'll talk about that in a second, but to set those goals. Now it could be your first goal is to create your written vision. That could be, you could sit down for an hour and get that done, right? And then update it as you think of new things. Your second goal could be really define in writing what you want your personal brand to be. What is it today? What would you like it to be? What do you want to be known for? And your third goal could be really gaining clarity on your strengths. Now, those 3 goals could be your 3 goals for the next 90 days. You can make tremendous progress. So when I say set goals around your career, that's what I'm talking about. What kind of clarity, insight, focus, where to direct your energy. Those things are all part of your foundation. So if you got offered an opportunity at your company, let's say you love where you work, you've got your eye on a promotion or a different role, or somebody comes and approaches you about an opportunity and they say, oh, there's a new role opening up. Would you be interested? I would want you to have the clarity of longer term, where are you heading? What do you want to be known for? And what are you really good at? So that you can evaluate that role and see, does it fit? One mistake I've made, and I've seen many people make, is they're reactive. They're reactive over time. Something shows up, it's in their path, they get offered an opportunity, it becomes available. It's like the path of least resistance. Oh, you're flattered. Somebody thought about you. Oh, sure, that sounds good. And you take that opportunity without really knowing, is this step going to move you in the direction that you really want to go in longer term? Now, just a quick story from my own background is, I mentioned at the beginning of the podcast that I was chief people officer at a software company, and I really didn't view myself as wanting to go down the HR path of being an HR professional. However, I recognized that there was so much that I could do with the CEO, with the company in that role that fit with my longer term vision and would be of enormous value and satisfaction in doing it, which it was. But that particular job move was not something that I ever thought about in advance. But when the opportunity popped up, I did what I'm suggesting you do, which is weigh it, evaluate it, and think about it in the context of, what's my longer term vision for my life? Where do I see myself personally and professionally down the road? How does this decision move me closer to that vision or further away? Does it fit? Can I connect the dots between how that position is going to prepare me for what I want to do longer term? And in my case, it did. Me being chief people officer allowed me to do so many things that were of huge value to what I do today in so many ways. But I want you to go through that same thought process. When you make choices, will it help you achieve the career that you really want? Okay. So anyway, by setting the 3 goals for the next 90 days, those can be small goals that are realistic, achievable, and relevant to what you're doing. That's going to help you make progress. And what you've just done when you set those 3 small goals, especially if you put them in writing, right, is now you're going to direct your energy to those goals. Right? And those goals are going to help you move forward in your career. Now, the last area, number 5, that I really want you to do in conjunction with these 4 areas is think of yourself as you are the business, right? You are your greatest asset. It's not your house, it's you, right? And as you invest in yourself with time, energy, money, resources, I want you to think about you are your largest asset, and think of yourself as, you're running the business of you, your life. And so I would love for you to start a weekly strategic planning process, right? Once a week. And again, if you're willing to devote an hour a week, this could be part of that hour. Is in your strategic planning process, sit down every week, same time every week. It could be, for me, for years, it's been Sunday morning, to reflect on how are you doing with your goals? How are you doing with those 3 goals? Have you made progress? What did you accomplish? What are you going to do next? What are the next little tiny steps that you could take to move forward on those goals? What career choices are facing you? Is it a new project, new assignment? As I said, maybe what you want to be known for is solving complex problems. As you look at the coming week, is there an opportunity for you to raise your hand on some complex problem that you could lead the problem-solving thought process on it, right? What are the opportunities coming up? But at least give yourself some time to reflect on your goals, the progress you're making, and your plans for the upcoming week, right? If you get into a habit of doing this every week, you will feel and see tangible results. You'll see it snowballing, right? That cumulative compounding effect. So where to direct your energy for the career you want is by paying attention. At a minimum, these are the 5 things. Now, I've got a whole lot more I can share with you. If you're interested in exploring how I might be able to support you and help you move forward, I would love to hear from you. There's a couple of things. One is you could simply email me at donna.sirianni@gmail.com and say, I'd love to talk to you, Donna. I do complimentary 30-minute strategy sessions to explore what's most on your mind and how might I be able to support you. And I've got all kinds of private coaching, group programs, self-paced programs. But if you want to just have a quick conversation, at the very least, at the end of that 30 minutes, I will help you figure out what is that next step you can take, your best move that you could take next to figure out where to direct your energy for the career you want. Okay, so hopefully those 5 areas have been helpful for you. In the next episode, I'm going to dig a little deeper on that strategic planning process and what you need to have in place for that to be really effective. So stay tuned for that. But in the meantime, I wish you all the best and have a great day.